And action. Welcome.
Here we are. Hello.
I'm your host, the guy with the biggest picture, obviously. That's about it. My name's Derek. Peter in the bottom right, the guy that looks like the dude or a caveman, is Jeff. He's in Canada.
Yeah.
We are Velocity RC Cars Magazine. A magazine, not just a YouTube channel or a crappy live show, which we're doing now. And this isn't because of the dumb coronavirus. This is because we don't live near each other, not because we're social distancing. I give two shits.
Yeah, and we're not cam boys. The clothes are staying on, okay?
I didn't even know that was an option. Yeah, I might get naked.
It's the Philippines. We're here to talk about some RC, boys. That's what we're here to do, and drink maybe a beer or four. So let's do a little bit of what I'd like to call, who the heck are these guys? Because most of you probably have never seen us unless you watch Geico commercials for Jeff. You know, I am the guy that helped start Velocity RC Cars Magazine, this online magazine that we have here that's sort of like a print magazine, except you read it on the toilet on your phone instead of on the toilet with a piece of paper. And Jeff was that co-founder, and Pete I worked with many, many years ago at one of the old RC magazines, which we'll get in touch with, but that's me. And then now we can talk to Jeff.
Sure. As Derek said, I was also a co-founder of Velocity RC Magazine, which I guess was probably about 8 years ago now. Before that, I was writing for Extreme RC Cars Magazine for just over a decade for Mike Velez over there, and also Derek was my Derek was my boss there, and an awesome one. I'm also the owner of Triple X Main and sell stickers. So, yeah. Take it away, Pete.
I'm Pete. I like long watches on the beach and stuff like that. I worked with Derek a long time ago for Air Age Media, and currently I'm a freelancer, but I've been an RC guy since around about maybe 88 or 89 or so. So a long time in the hobby like these other two guys. And that's pretty much just me. Just a family guy into hobbies, probably like a lot of you watching right now.
Yeah, so we're very credible.
Let's do this.
Super credible.
I have 32 years in the hobby. Let's add these up so we can do that collectively. We're almost a decade, or a century. So I'm 32 years, not professionally, 32 years in the hobby, and I guess 20 something professionally. Okay, what do we got?
Pete?
Let's see.
You got to be the longest.
My first issue of Car Action was new for 98. So whatever the math is on that, what's that?
22 professionally, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And how long in the hobby?
At least 32 then, I would think.
Okay, so we're at 64 total. What do you got? I got to remember way to point.
I would say we're probably all around the same thing. I mean, professionally, I don't remember when I started at Car Action. 99. Pete, you were there with me in the start?
Yeah.
Okay, so probably 99, so 1 year less, or one or two. And then, playing with little corded RC cars since I was 10. So I'm only 20. So yeah, probably like 32 years. So we're just under 100 years. Whatever collective mind means, because it doesn't mean shit. So
no, it's just fun. It's fun. The two guys watching want to know how many years we've been doing this. It's 60-ish years professionally, 90-ish years together. So
hey, by the way, there are two guys watching.
I figured. I don't even have the numbers, but it's your mom and
hey, this guy just said hello.
Oh, people can say things?
Yeah. From Belfast.
If anybody's watching and are on the internet, Jeff literally just discovered the internet. I'm not kidding.
I'm about to beat Angry Birds.
Yeah. He still has Tetris in the bathroom, I'm sure.
I do. I played it a few times today.
So that's how many times he's gone to the bathroom already. He's out of toilet paper.
Yes. No, I got lots. Canada is a little different.
Yeah. So now that we've got hey, I'm the 32 years that nobody gives a flying crap about, let's talk about something that probably not too many people know about. Some people do, but since the world of media has changed and it's not just one thing anymore, Velocity RC Cars Magazine and pretty much every other magazine is not print because nobody reads that crap anymore because we have computers, unlike Jeff. And so we're multimedia, which means we have a YouTube channel, which you're watching here, obviously, hopefully. We have a website, which is kind of our newsstand. We don't really use it as much as like a press release repeater. Probably not the smartest thing, but that's what we do. And Facebook, where we have some followers that we paid a lot for and then don't reach anymore. So that's always great. But we have a magazine, and I'm going to bring up a little screen of this guy here and maybe go like this. So when you buy the magazine now, it comes on your giant iPad like I have here. And if this is still working, you get to swipe through like you'd flip a page. So it's groundbreaking. It's 1997 technology, but it's now. And that's kind of what we do. So if you're watching this YouTube channel and you watch the videos, head over to the website. We spend a lot of time and effort creating professional looking stuff, which most people don't care about. Like this stuff right here is, not broadcast quality, but we do spend a lot of time and effort in that. And we have 115 years of collective nonsense together. And that means nothing. So it just means we have a magazine and we talk about stuff from beginner stuff to advanced stuff and painting and a lot of nonsense. Most of the time we just make fun of Jeff. Pete's new to the game, even though we worked forever and helping out. So what are you guys' thoughts on digital magazines? Anything good?
I could say a few things. No, I don't have much to say. Print was awesome. I prefer print, just like everyone says they prefer print, but nobody buys it. And that's why they're all gone, in my opinion. And also, and so digital is the awesome future. And for us to be able to make a product like this with the, let's be reasonable. We all worked for print magazines for decades. When we make this magazine, we do everything we did there, only instead of sending it to the printer, we send it to a digital output. So yeah, this is the future. Not the future. This is the old, but this is how you still get your credible content in a magazine format in a digital way.
Yeah, it's the best of both worlds because you get that professional look and layout, but you can pinch and zoom in and you're looking at it backlit on a tablet. You're not going to get any brighter than that. Even on a phone, it looks good. If you have a job where you use a desktop computer like I do, you've got two big monitors and you can spread it out like that. It looks fantastic. And also it's interactive. You can click on links and go other places from inside the magazine. So it's 2020. This is what we're doing. But a lot of work goes into it. I encourage you to check it out. I'm sure there's a link in the description, or there will be. Yeah, this is what we're doing. Hope you enjoy the content that we do on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. But definitely make sure you look at the real work and effort that goes into Velocity, the magazine.
Just give a little shout out to Pete. He's been posting a lot of stuff on our Facebook and Instagram with
very good, yes,
funny pictures and more than 2 seconds worth of time. So when you see something that's not just like hey, I'm working on something stupid, it's usually Pete and bringing up the old videos that I don't even know how the heck you find these things. I think he's got like his own porn lab was just old RC videos somewhere in a drawer.
That's exactly what it is. Yep.
But it's pretty good. It makes me laugh during the day. So
yeah. And you're watching us. We're three real people who are really passionate about this. So if you can like and share, everyone says that, and click the like button and subscribe. That's because we really appreciate the extra views and eyeballs and helping spread the word. And I know I'd love to be able to give away some stuff from my stash, and maybe we can do some more of that and reward you guys for supporting Velocity. So if you see something and you like it, because I'm terrible at this. I look at stuff all day and I like it, but I don't like it and hit the button. I need to be better about that. If you guys can go ahead and click like when you realize you like something, that'd be great. Share it, even better.
We gotta say, hey, we got a subscriber. I'm gonna shout out to Mikey Mike. Oh, he's the same one. Mikey Mike already put you up there. So you're back, brother.
That is amazing.
He's from Ireland. I'm proud.
Very well said, by the way, Mike, down there.
Yeah.
Very well.
There's
said.
other guys on here. There's
sorry,
Danny.
Pete. Sorry, I called you Mike. Pete.
That's right.
Was I reading Mike? The one guy that was watching
the thing up there who was saying hi. So we got Mike, Danny, Maximus. He's a tough guy.
Oh, good. Okay. All right. There we go.
We got 3 people watching. We're good. It's
I'm good. It's coronavirus. I haven't seen people in a month.
Yeah, well, by your beard, it's been years.
That's 1 week, dude.
we kind of jumped in. I'm going to shut off our little camera here. You guys see this stuff, the pinchy, zoomy, all that kind of fun stuff. Say goodbye, magazine.
Those are my dogs. I apologize if everyone can hear them.
And I'm going to turn Maximus. I appreciate your really talkative comment. I'm going to turn that off too. And we got some topics here. We're just going to do a quick. We don't know what the heck we're doing. This is just, hey, let's do this together and see what happens.
I got an email saying we're on at 8:30. That's how.
Yeah, we're going live. Do you know what that quote is from? That's what I keep saying.
No, I know. What is it?
One of the broadcasters like flipped out on his thing. And we're going live.
It's on Facebook right now.
Yeah.
You didn't see my post?
No.
You don't even check them.
I checked. All right. Only swear. We got a swear jar.
Go look.
Get to the first question. What's your first RC car? Well, how'd you get in the hobby?
Hey, those are interesting questions to some
They
people.
are. I'm kidding. Relax. I'm going to punch you. Relax. Okay. What do we got here?
So I do have a wild card question in here. Me and Jeff have wanted to have this argument. One of the questions I'm going to have are topics in here. So probably for like 10, 15 years about it, but it's a surprise to Jeff. So he's stupid. So we're going to talk a little bit about RC because this is what we are here for.
Yeah.
And, we're bombarded with RC stuff all day. If you're on anything, you see new stuff all the time and, stuff's coming out. And now that you can't go see someone with an RC car, has anything stood out in the past couple months, stupid virus aside?
Couple months.
What has been like, oh, snaps, that's cool in the past, let's go 3 months?
Are you talking product-wise or technology? Oh, products. You even wrote it. Oh,
Yeah, there's a word on there. But whatever technology you want. It's something, technology in 3 months, you give me something like the Striker.
Hey, check out my Striker.
What was your first car?
RC car? Just in case Derek said, hey, what was your first RC car? I was ready.
Do you know what the knockoff one was?
Well, FX10 was the Futaba.
Yeah, all right, I'm just testing.
Are you serious right now?
Maybe somebody didn't know that on there. How about that? You just answered.
You know what I just realized? When I look at you in real life, I look away from you. That is never going to make any sense. Where I'm like, are you serious? I'm looking. That's going to look really odd in the video. Yes, I know a lot about vintage, as you do, as you know, as probably Pete does as well, as we all do. All right, someone take a whack at this. I don't even know what's been released in the last few months. I don't write that section of the magazine anymore.
Jeff finally came out with a new sticker. It's camo.
Camo.
So you should probably check that out. If you haven't seen camo, it's blow your mind.
Listen, Triple X Main camo paint mask. It was surprisingly difficult to design. I know that sounds funny. Very easy to use. It looks freaking awesome. Check it out on the website, xxxmain.com.
Shameless plug of.
I'm almost as good as Pete. Dude, Pete flowed off the tongue when he was talking. I just sort of did something like that. All right.
Well, I'll jump in on the actual question if you like.
Pete probably has an intelligent answer. So
yeah.
Pete, I'm going to try Pete.
Well, if you want to go back to the first car, I got started with a Kyosho Ultima. I really wanted a Tamiya car because that was the standard RC car you would buy a Tamiya. But that was back when Tower Hobbies didn't have Tamiyas, and I did not have an RC hobby store near me where I could just go and look at them and buy one. So I wound up getting a Kyosho Ultima with the Super Completer combo, which included a 7-cell NiCad battery and a timer charger and that whole lot. So that's where I got started. I don't know how crazy old I am. Yeah, and the car wasn't designed to hold one, so I had to cut a big hole in the side of the body so the pack could stick out both sides. But I figured it out. But that car wore out and was turned into 100 different things, and that was my intro to RC, and I had a blast with that. As for what's new, I was pretty stoked to get into some no prep drag racing. Which I was attracted to because it's fun and easy. It's a short day and it's social, but the whole pandemic thing happened. So I think what we're going to see a lot more of, not that it wasn't already popular, is just solo trail trucking. Or even if you're not alone, it's easy to keep your distance from someone you're out trail trucking with. So I think that's going to really be the hot pandemic side of the hobby is the trail trekking.
And drag won't go away. That's not a fact.
Not at all.
Even when this pandemic, I forgot about that. That is the most brilliant thing that this hobby has released since the Slash. That drag racing scene. I work at a hobby shop as well for 30-something years. And it's the drag racing scene is awesome. And these gangs of people come in, all these friends that are all doing it. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, you're totally right, Pete. Brilliant. That drag racing thing's brilliant.
So there's a key to everything that keeps coming back into these new things that come out. So the no prep was based on a Slash originally. So that Slash chassis seems to keep breathing life into stuff. Drag racing is basically all what racing is, because we're just drag racing from corner to corner. And when you were a kid, that's all we did anyway. I mean, I remember even having my RC 10 at a race, and the whole thing you did was just let's see who can go fast, straight, and then make it back, right? So when I worked in a hobby shop, I worked at JP's Hobbies with a bunch of people that were still in this industry. The inner city crew that would come in with 5s and 1s to pay for everything, super cool guys, but all they did in a parking lot was drag race. And they'd come in and say, can you put the fastest motor in? Can you cut the hair weave out of my axles and make it go faster? So it's always been here. And all these obscure things are always kind of like the core of the hobby to me. So if you look at monster trucks and the people that are really into the hobby are always building something, you know, unlike me, who was lazy as hell. I don't really want to build anything anymore. So even though I don't like RTRs, it's really what the easiest thing is to me. I don't have patience. So
yeah, but that's only because you ring through 4 cars an issue. I would hate it too, but building is still amazing and super fun. You just deal with too many cars.
yeah, well, that's true. But
it's also great when you can build on your own schedule as opposed to I got to knock this together for a deadline. But
and then you make that a job.
The,
even no matter how fun it is, you're eventually going to get sick of some components of it.
So let's talk about, here's a good topic change that wasn't on my little list of what's your favorite car.
Oh, no, get the list. No. Oh, I only studied the list.
Yeah. And now you just made me forget it.
I have one more drag racing point if you want to stay on it.
Yeah, let's go. Drag. We're drag.
I don't know how sophisticated the no prep guys are with the timekeeping systems, if they're using Traxxas DTS 1s, if they hoarded those, or if they've got other systems. But part of the beauty of drag racing for me, as a guy who does not have time to lavish a lot of attention to having the best possible car or becoming the best possible driver, one, drag racing doesn't require a ton of skill just to get down the track. I mean, obviously there's a lot of skill to be the best at it, but to just do it, you don't need to be a great driver. But on top of that, if you are running bracket. Sorry guys, the call interrupted me. But if you're running brackets, you basically run against your previous time. So you can run anything against anybody. You can run an X01 against a, to me, a grasshopper, and you're still racing and it's still fun. And it doesn't need to be a big time suck either during the week of prepping all your stuff or showing up on the day of the activity where you're going to be locked in for 8 hours like at a traditional, RC off-road track. It's a bunch of guys in a parking lot, and it's not going to wipe out your whole day away from your family and other stuff you might need to do. So that's an attraction for me as well.
And trail guys, they spend money. I'm just saying, like, they support the hobby. I mean, racers do too, and every segment does. But these guys.
I can't hear you, Jeff. I'm sorry, buddy.
What's that? I didn't hear.
I can hear you.
Oh, did Pete freeze?
I'm going to leave and come back. I can't hear you guys.
Oh, he said I can't hear you. Okay. All right. What was your question that I made you forget? Did you think of it?
I forgot it. If I remembered, I would have remembered.
All right. Scroll through your thing there.
No, keep talking. You just keep talking. You were talking about people spend money.
That was my point. That's the end point. Listen, that's the point. They especially support brick and mortar. I mean, racers find them. You got to buy 100 tires. You find the best deal. These guys go to the hobby shop. They spend money. They support the hobby. I was finished my point. Yeah.
Well, Pete's back now. You finished it. But here's the thing that will ruin everything, and this is the life cycle of everything new. It's fun until there's prep, and then pros come in.
Now I can't hear Derek.
And the pros come in and ruin everything.
It's like the Slash class. It was awesome until too many too fast people came in and started doing things where they were killing it and winning by a mile, and it wasn't a fun class anymore like it was when it first started. Yeah, I tend to agree. I don't know if that's going to happen with drag racing because the rules are probably so open-ended. You make the rules in your group. But anyways, maybe that.
Well, hopefully that's where you always have the bracket racing, where you've always got this equalizer of you run against your own best time, and it doesn't really matter how fast you are or not, because the guy with the fast car, he's going to take off 2 seconds ahead of you, and then you're going to meet at the finish line, or you're going to take off 2 seconds ahead of him, and then you meet at the finish line. And if you didn't break out by going faster than your setup time, then you might win the race. But that's, I don't know if they do brackets in no prep drag racing.
Hey, I got late breaking news. Pete, can you hear me now?
Can't hear you, Derek. I'm sorry.
How do you? How do you know I was talking?
I'm gonna leave and come back again and see if it fixes
Because
it.
your lips moved. Dude. How did you know I was talking? How many people are there? Is there still the same two?
No, there's more. But this is what I'm saying. I got a late breaking news. Mateo burnt his mouth on pizza.
Yeah, Derek, you're
I
gone,
knew
buddy.
it. I told him. I've been talking to Mateo on the side the whole time. You always wait a little bit longer with pizza.
You can't. You just got to eat it.
Are we just gonna watch Pete come in and out?
Yes, it's part of the entertainment.
Roll to the next question. We'll get back to his drag. I think he's got stock in brackets. He really likes brackets.
Hold on.
He's right though. He is totally right. He is right.
Let's give Pete a second, everybody. We appreciate the comments. Jeff can't see them unless he clicks the comment thing on the side.
Listen, I don't have a. Oh, can I click something? Oh, live comments. Look
Oh
at
my
this.
God, Pete!
Oh, dude, this is awesome.
Yeah, no, I kept leaving and coming back because I couldn't
that
hear you
dude,
guys,
Peter.
but
Peter's right.
now
The
I got
armor
everybody.
limitless does stand
Can
out.
you hear me, Pete?
80-mile-an-hour cars that out of the box stand out. He's right. That's another big one. Now that's a lot more. Well, no, it's not even a lot more money. Anyways, yeah, 80-mile-an-hour cars out of the box. We've all been around where you went 25 miles max, and now they're buying RTRs that go 80 miles an hour. Peter.
Well, they've been going 65 and 70 for over 10 years now with the Traxxas.
No,
VXL
when
stuff,
you
but-
put a lot of work into them. You're right, obviously. You and I remember the insane speed runs at the Thunderdome and all that. The capabilities of going. Oh, you mean 65 miles an hour out of the box RTRs?
Yeah, they've been around for a while
Yeah,
now.
I guess
I was
that's
doing
fair.
70.
Okay, yeah,
but
still,
they weren't engineered to be just 70-mile-an-hour car. I mean, there were cars that could do it, but it's a Bandit is still an off-road buggy. But the Limitless, the pickup truck one, can't remember what they call it. They're more optimized to only do that go fast stuff.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Anyway, there's also still a big difference between the somewhat mythical 65 mile an hour on some of the vehicles back in the last decade and the 80 miles an hour of a 6 or 8S, whatever. You had to have a lot of magic happen to even barely hit those 60s and 65s. But yes, that's true. The high-speed cars have been out for a while, but this somewhat new phenomena of in the box 80 real miles an hour when you go home and charge the battery that day, as long as you put the big gear on, that's pretty big for a segment of this hobby as well. But that's just another form of drag racing. They just don't time them.
Right. That's what I'm saying. We've always done drag racing. It's just now it's no prep. But we do have, so Pete, on your timing system, the track, they actually put a track in by me and it's now prep. And I think they're using a more advanced timing system, which obviously I think can do bracket racing. I think the Traxxas one does all that stuff. I think
it does, yeah. The TTS one does.
Their little system's really cool. But bracket racing is 100% that. And that's what the no prep came in was everybody used the same motor, and they were really on the same car. It was, started with slashes before everybody started using every other car. Right. So it was pretty much a bracket run because it was a spec class. And that's kind of how like the slash became popular at racing, is that we started running and everybody ran the same car, same motor, and you didn't have any traction, so it didn't matter. And that's really the biggest thing that always screws everything up is traction. You have unlimited traction, you can put unlimited power. So dress and drag, I guess, it's fun.
Well, yeah, I mean, the worst thing for racing is always racing. I mean, it gets corrupted, it turns into that, making the cars better and the traction better, and it takes out that kind of wango tango fun factor. But that's the nature of the beast.
I'm going to step in on this one a little bit. You're totally right about the racing, but there are some classes where almost all of that's gone. And I'll be quick on this one. And there were some problems with this last class of racing I did. But the carpet off-road, open motor, was awesome. There was no tire wars because there was only one tire that worked. There was no motor or battery wars because everything was overpowered to begin with. Not overpowered, but you had plenty of power. Yeah, I ran the same gas for 3 years. That's right. I ran. The motor didn't come out of the car for a year. If I wanted to go faster, it was easy. There are some classes that are super reasonable, but then there's also your touring cars, and there are some classes where it's a silly tire game or a money game or a quality of the parts game.
Yeah.
By the way, I think we can do an entire show on how stupid carpet off-road is, even though Jeff loves it. But
it's amazing. It's a great class. You don't clean the car. Again, you don't have to go to the track with a whole bunch of tires and compounds. It's 12 scale precision with jumps.
Yeah, it's too hard for everybody. But
no, I get it. Listen, yes, especially we don't do things as big always as California, but yes, some of these big tracks where the cars are going ballistic, it's approaching touring car speed where when you hit, everything blows up. But when my guy was making sane tracks, which he did most of the time, even beginners were able to get around quick and not break their cars. And I'll always be a supporter of carpet off road. And I've done a lot of classes in my.
Yeah, we're always romantic for dirt, which is fine, but you know, for carpet, there's no mildew, there's no mold, you don't have to water it. It's much easier for the track owner, all that stuff. But to Derek's point, I think if there was a class where you used a really hard tire, so the traction would only tolerate you running like a legit stock motor, you know, and you had to really drive the car, you couldn't just go faster and walk away from people on the straight. You know, that's the class that I would probably want to do, or just slashes. Always back to the slash on that carpet track. That'd be fine by me. I would probably be able to have the time to go like once a month. I would not practice. I would not have the time to. Hopefully there'd be 4 or 5 other guys like me who don't have time for that either. And the last Friday of the month is the day that we make it out and we race and we have a good time. And if you win, it's great, but no one's walking away from you on the straightaway because they dipped their motor and did 20 different things to make their car a little bit faster because we just want to have fun once a month. I think there's plenty of guys like that who would frequent a hobby store track scene more often.
No bark.
A lot of times it's just all in or all out.
Sorry about my dog. I got made fun of because I yelled no bark in the past, so I'm not going to yell no bark.
Yeah, just let him bark. I'll tell you my slash story and how much it changed. When we were in the peak of magazine stuff and I'm over RC'd and I don't want to go spend 3 days at the track, Slash came out and we saw a video of them racing and I was like, whoa, that looks like fun. We started the class at OCRC Raceway. It was me, Mike McMahon, a couple other people, and we started off with maybe 8 guys, and it ended up being 40 people on a Wednesday night. For me, because just like I said, I'm lazy. I don't want to sit and work on my car for 10 hours for 4 minutes of track time. Doesn't make sense to me anymore. So people play video games maybe. But we'd go on a Wednesday, I'd put my car away, and the next week I would pull it out at the track 30 minutes before the race started. And for about 3 months, it was the most fun I've ever had racing. I won't say that maybe we called it Red Cup racing because I think maybe we were drinking beers in the game. Like that. But that's what it was. We all laughed. We had a great time. It was great racing. All the people that ran buggies used to say, oh, you guys are just hacks. But it was much more fun. Nobody came off the track upset. And tires made a huge difference. And everybody ran Slash until Associated came out with their car. And I don't know if it was, I don't want to say it was embarrassing for Associated, but me and McMahon ran stock tracks of Slashes and were competitive with Ryan Cavallari until they started changing tires. So tires is like that thing that can make and break everything. And the fact that 3-4 chassis with crappy tires were all competitive because you didn't have traction was way more fun. We made great passes. You took someone out and but nobody came. You never ever seen someone throw a radio across the track or smash something. That never happened. But once it became competitive and they called it short bus racing and it went all factory, that class died. It's gone.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, that's the point. Right.
So to Pete saying is, just hard tires save lives.
Is that what that diatribe was about? That's awesome.
We should all have hard tires. But if you run carpet, I'm sorry, you're not as much as the man as
I will argue to the death. I will argue to the death on this. I'm not saying. Listen, I love all. I'll run. I run whatever track is close. I'm about to run Mini Z. Like, I'll run whatever's close. I love all RC. I'll even rock crawl if I have to. Like, it's fine. But you can't rag on. Well, I'm not a rock crawler. I'm
going to do Mini Z and then rag on rock crawling.
Dude, listen, don't poo-poo Mini Z. Mini Z. Listen, there's different levels of Mini Z.
We watch Mini Z. It's okay.
Yeah, the open class. It's a freaking tool scale car. They're rocket ships, man. Like, they're awesome. They're very in control. Lots of setup on them. Don't poo-poo Mini Z. Now the box stock spec. But anyways, yeah. Anyway, carpet off-road.
Danny says Mini T is pretty fun.
Yeah, I saw that. And you got to remember, the majority of people who race aren't serious into racing anyways. It's only the 5A main guys who care about what the other 5A main guys are doing. Everyone else is like what you guys said. You go once a month. And
by the way, a whole other show will be on how much I hate mini cars.
Yeah. How can you get mini cars and carpet off-roads?
I don't like mini cars either. I'll be honest with you.
They're the
Have
same
you ever
price as
raced
the bigger ones. What the hell's the point?
Pete or Derek, have you ever raced Mini Z or a mini car? Like a good one.
It's not about racing. I just don't like working on the smaller size, and the value isn't there. It's not like it's half the size and half the price.
No, it's the same price and crappy little parts and.
But I'm not having half the fun when I'm there. I'm having the full
Yes,
fun.
you are. Come on, stop it. Give me a break. If you're having full size fun,
listen, I put many of my points forward. We could continue this if you want. I can bring up some more points as best I can, but I think I've made a few points, and I'm gonna Mini Z.
All right.
I don't know screen.
I don't know how long we're gonna go this. Do we want to go to another real topic, or do you want to go to
no? How many people are watching? If it's under 1,000.
One last note on minis. I want to point out that nitro minis used to exist. You could get a 18 scale nitro car. That was a thing that you could get.
I hate that even more.
One more point on minis. I hate minis now. I do.
I don't like them at all. They're the same price, $200. What's the point?
None of that matters. I'll tell you something. First of all,
actually,
my fully loaded. My
minis
fully loaded Mini Z race car is a lot less money than my fully loaded carpet off-road car. I can assure you.
It shouldn't be. What are you talking about? How much is your Mini Z?
Well, listen. Okay, I'm not the best example because I buy everything, but you can go there and be competitive for well under $1,000. There's no other RC class you can win an A-main under $1,000. You go buy a B6 for maybe I'm talking Canadian money, so you have 800 or 700 in your money. You buy a car kit, a Tekin brushless motor and speed control. You buy a Futaba radio. You buy 3 lipos and a charger. You buy a couple sets of tires and rims. You're always over $1,000. Get an 8-scale buggy, you're $2,000. Everything's expensive. My Mini Z setup is a lot less. Anyway, I don't know why no one from Kyosho is paying me right now. I don't want to argue too much about Mini Z.
I will say there's 2 minis I do like.
No one from Kyosho is going to pay you either.
I like the.
I don't even think you call a Mini Z a mini. Is it like a mini? Is also like the old HPI mini or micro RS4. It was called. I don't know.
Micro RS4 is what you're thinking of. That was the on-road one.
And you had but the Nitro one you were talking about was micro. Micro should be smaller than mini.
Yeah, X-Ray had it, and I think Trinity had an 18 scale Nitro platform as well that they brought in from China or someplace.
I knew it. Trinity killed Nitro. I didn't.
But you know what Mini I think is fun is the little Q32 because it's $50 and it goes around the living room. That's fine.
What is it? What?
The little Q32s. They're tiny, but they're $50.
Yes.
And you just run them around the living room. The cat chases it. Yeah, it's it's very much a toy thing, but it's only $50. That's fine.
Yeah.
And the other one I do like is the Traxxas 116 E-Revo because it's almost 10 scale. It's pretty big by mini standards. It takes a 2.2 tire. It's got full-size hardware. That if I'm not going to run 10 scale, that's probably as small as I would want to go. But 10 scale for me is the brushless E-Revo. I don't remember. I think it's like two bills and change. Yeah.
It's still kind of
again.
As cool as it is, as it is, I still rather have something bigger. There's a size.
No, I agree. That's why 10 scale is the Goldilocks size. It's big enough to be impressively big. It's like, wow, that's not a toy kind of thing. But you can work on it at the kitchen table. It's not insanely expensive. I mean, the value you can get for $200, $250 110 scale car is insane these days. They've got bearings. You can get a 2-cell.
But there's a very different conversation whether you're talking about what car do I get as an entry level to have fun in the world of RC and competitive racing. I was talking about competitive racing. You can substantially spend less money on a competitive Mini Z for a prepped track than you can say a 1/10 or a 1/8 scale, which are also classes that I love a lot. But yeah, if you're talking about like what to get into, I would never recommend a Mini Z to play RC. You only get a Mini Z, in my opinion, if you're going to go race at a track with a proper setup track. I would never recommend a Mini for almost anyone in the hobby. You can't go past the driveway under most circumstances, other than mini crawlers.
Some people just want to drift around the garage floor. There's, I think, pretty much every category of vehicle you can just play with. I wouldn't want to just play with a full-on competition car, but everything else you can play with. The problem is that you can't race everything that you can play with. And ideally, if I ever owned a track, I would want to make sure that whatever I sold in the store, you could come race, whether it's a brushed bandit or a grasshopper. I'd find a way to make sure there's something that you can race, even if it's you're going to get 3 minutes to turn as many laps as you can, And if you can, repeat that performance, then we score you or something, but something for everybody. Because a lot of people, they go to the hobby store, the track stuff looks exciting, but they can't remotely hang or afford to do it. And it's just this kind of out of reach thing for them, which is a bummer and not good. Because, racing can be a blast, as you noted with the whole slash scene. But for a lot of people, they see guys going crazy fast and they're swearing on the driver's stand, and they're all tense, and it doesn't really look much fun. It looks fun as far as what the car's doing, but the people you're going to hang out with and the way they're acting seems like not fun. Especially for like a dad with his 9-year-old.
Sure.
This is the topic that Jeff and I have argued about on the phone for hours and got mad at each other.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. I have my one argument wins.
It is a no-brainer.
You want reverse, and that makes
Yes.
no sense.
It does.
Okay. Did you watch, what was it, 2018 F1 season? Did you watch the 2018? I think it was 2018, or was it even 2019? When Vettel backed into, Stroll or whatever?
Oh, wait, he has reverse?
Yeah, but that's not the point. The point
in a
is,
$1 million F1 car, they have reverse and can kill somebody. But in RC, fat guy has to run out on the track, trip over everybody.
What a poopy situation. It's an analogy to give you. It's an analogy to tell you why I have this position in RC. I got news for you. Yes, RC is fun to race, and everyone should have fun. But when you're watching the A main, or when you're watching any main, I guess for that matter, the 1, 2, and 3 are all that matters. I'm sorry to say, nobody gives a crap about your 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th place. If 9th place crashes and backs out in front of the leading pack and wrecks that race, that's the stupidest thing that can ever happen. Now, a marshal could throw a car down in front of the leading pack, but they often don't. The car could crash in 9th place and hit the leading pack, but that often doesn't happen. To give control to back out whenever the frick you want because you made a mistake that you could affect the outcome of the leaders, the only thing anyone cares about in that particular race is ridiculous. There's no advantage to it. It won't eliminate marshals. You're not going to get rid of marshals. There's lots of other situations that would require more than reverse. So it's not a safety car. Anyway, put your points forward. You're wrong on this one.
I am not wrong. First of all, you said in a $1 billion industry they have reverse and have ruined races.
No, so, yeah. I was just showing you can get a terrible outcome. Stroll or whatever his name wasn't in the lead anyways.
I've watched several Marshals Super Mario Mushroom Stomp cars running across to Marshall 9th place. So how does that make any sense?
That's poor marshalling.
I've also watched where somebody couldn't cross the track because the car is stuck against a pipe that if they just backed up and not into traffic, could continue on their way. So
there's no arguing that you're not going to have anecdotal situations.
There has to be a repercussion, which is not enforced in RC. In F1, the repercussion is they can all die. So they try not to back into each other. In RC, they can back in and go, oh, sorry. They need to be disqualified and removed from the race, and it stops. But in the terms of, first of all,
because you can't. The judge doesn't see them all. What are you going to hire a guy to look through a bubble?
The safety of the track, first of all, and I can't believe more people haven't been sued for this. I've watched people take an RC car to the face from trying to marshal someone that could have driven up in reverse. So reverse to me is I can't go in reverse because my whole entire RC career never had freaking reverse. First of all, I can't even go backwards.
Okay, can I say something? You
got a double pump to go backwards or some crap. I don't even know how to go backwards.
That makes it even funnier. Can I say something quick? In Mini Z racing, you
are
allowed reverse.
Yeah.
and it is pretty
the best
awesome.
class on the earth.
But hang on. I still don't agree with it. It is awesome in those situations. But I'm a skilled driver who doesn't back into people. I wouldn't want to race and be leading my main and then have some other idiot pull in front of me. So even though it's just ironic that in Mini Z, a class I just fought for, does seem to allow reverse. And you actually have to double tag, I think for most cars.
I'm gonna
I still hold my position on, even though I enjoy it in Mini Z. In I don't want to see Mayfield get taken out by 9th place when he's
taken out anyway going forward. What the heck's the difference? But Pete, can I have a whistle?
I say just a lot of reverse. One, the less the marshals are running around the track, the better. They're less likely to step on a car or slip on a car and hurt themselves. All that stuff. The more they can stay out of traffic, the better. Two, in real racing, you can back up. In real racing, the stakes, as Derek pointed out, might be you kill somebody. And RC car racing, it's
you can't back up in real racing. they usually pull a yellow flag before you start to allow to do that and organize everyone straight. But the Vettel comment was one thing, but you're in real racing, you don't just crash and back out.
No, but the
going
cars
by
have the
200
ability to
miles
go backwards. They don't like call it a tow truck to pull them off the tire and then
They
put
don't
it
have
back
four
on the
fat
race.
guys pushing it out to get back on the track.
The point is, you don't have free reign in real auto racing most of the time to put your car back into the 200-mile racing line. Is the point? Generally speaking.
Yeah, I mean, if I were operating a track tomorrow for the classes where the guys are running speed controls that don't have reverse, I would say, okay, we're not going to have reverse because you don't even have it. But if I'm running a slash class, I'd say, look, in slash class, you can use reverse. You should make sure you don't back into people if you're up
But I
against
would
the
agree
pipe.
with that as well.
And the track is
agree
and
with
the
that
race
in
is going
slash
by.
class as
Wait till
well.
they go by you, but yeah, you can still back up.
No, but hang on. Again, I would agree with every point you made. In Mini Z, which is a little bit slower, and they're foam racing walls, it doesn't seem to cause a lot of problems. And in Slash, where let's be reasonable, it's not the as hardcore racers racing the Slash class. I would also allow it. But in the A main at the Worlds, the rule would be, sorry, my screensaver. In the A main at the Worlds, my rule would always be no reverse. In the A main at the Nationals, in the A main at a club race, and also in the B main and C main, because they matter too, and G main, and on and on and on. In some kids classes or ultra beginner classes, sure, I'm all for it. But in the act of, listen, we can joke all we want. We're not swearing and throwing radios, but if you're a competitive racer, you want to do well. You want to go as fast as you can while being friendly. You don't, in competitive RC racing, a back marker who crashed should not be able to affect the lead pack. I think that's it. Anyway, listen, I don't know how many racers are watching, or some pretty people who.
Well, that's where I think the race announcer would be saying, hey, Mike Smith, you're up against the wall. You have to wait till the leaders come by before you can back out, and then he waits.
The race announcer isn't watching ninth place. He's watching the top three and calling them like everyone else in the room. That's my point. If you want to start bringing referees, I would argue you could.
And any race announcer I've seen, they're not watching ninth place, but they see a guy who's upside down or stuck.
Maybe.
And they say, guys, look out in corner 2. There's a guy upside down. That happens. But it might all be moot because this will show you how long it's been since I purchased a competition speed control. But do competition speed controls have reverse nowadays because they're brushless?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
because back in the brush days, you didn't want that extra circuitry in there to pull down your on resistance.
Right.
So they wouldn't even have reverse. Okay.
No, the current speed controls, you can do absolutely anything you want.
By the way, I think the debate is that Jeff said he doesn't like reverse, but he races the class with it. So I think I've won this 20-year stupid argument that we had. I won.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. And as far as someone backing, backing up and messing up the race of a guy who is on the lead lap, well, that's just another part of the randomization of racing. Because
no, it's not. I think that no, it is not. No, that's where
it would be if you allowed it. Is what I'm saying. It's not like it's only allowed.
Nobody would want to allow that. Nobody would be like, oh, that sucks. The guy that didn't matter in the race ruined a really good race.
If I'm running the racetrack, I'll say, guys, this Friday we're going to allow reverse and see how it goes. If you don't like it, you're the racer. You can tell me, but I would go ahead and try it.
Well, again, it depends who you're talking to, right?
If you're a mini zing.
Yeah, if you're running a really small club race and everyone knows, I'm talking about what the rules should be, say, in the Roar rule book, and most tracks adopt the Roar.
I'm talking local track fun time racing.
Yeah, that's fine. I agree with you on those points. The slash class, and if everyone agrees, but
full on Roar Nationals, IFMAR races, no reverse. I agree with that. 100%.
Yeah, well, and I think Derek probably would as well. And
no, I don't. I actually think reverse.
You don't think that in the Roar rule book they should say that you are not allowed reverse?
You know why they didn't put reverse in the rules? You know why they didn't put it in there? Because it was a cost. So they wanted to keep it cheap because reversing speed controls were expensive. That's what the original rule was for. No. That's it.
Well, how would you know? That's
I was around.
Yeah, so was I, but I don't know if that's the one. Anyways, we don't know that that's true. I would imagine it's not. They probably set up the rule for all the reasons I've put forward. But maybe maybe at the end of all my arguments, I'll tell you what the meeting was like in Novak. They were like, you can't go reverse because you'll crash the leaders. And by the way, it'll save a bit of weight and save us a bit of money. Whatever you said is an afterthought. You don't go reverse in competitive racing for all the reasons I said you don't go reverse in competitive racing.
You have one reason. That's it. Except for you can cut the track and take somebody out. You can have a Mario Kart, get a one-up mushroom.
Yeah, we've already went through it. Listen, if we're live, none of us need
no penalty for a Marshall going boop, 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 all over the
Anyone
cars.
who is unsure of their position on this has heard enough from all of us to make their final decision. They'll know I'm right, and everything will be great.
All I
You
can
got one
say
more
is,
swipe. Do one more swipe, and then I got to go. You told me 30 minutes.
what do you got to do? You work from home.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to do this anymore.
But
I
Mateo
don't even know
burns
why
his
I
mouth on
answered your
pizza.
email. I don't even know why I answered your email. I should have. I couldn't even pretend I was out. This coronavirus, man, it's killing everything.
I think we're going to wrap this up because I still won the argument on reverse. Because, first of all, Jeff admitted he runs a class of reverse, which trumps all the stupidity that he spit out about 9th place in an A main at the Worlds is going to back out into traffic.
There's only 4 or 5 cars on
I
a
don't
small
think at
PVC
9th
track.
place in the A main of the Worlds, you're backing out into traffic. Right?
Well, yeah, and you're probably also not crashing. But the point, anyways, I think I should have made the point earlier. I was referring to what should be written in the Roar rulebook. I don't know why we're still talking about that topic.
This is a 15-year argument. We've talked about this, not even
I
kidding.
forgot that was even an argument. I'm upset that that's an argument now. I had forgotten. We're such good friends that I had forgotten how stupid you were on that topic. And if you didn't bring it up today, I wouldn't have. Now I have to kill you again.
Yeah, I won. We're out. Hopefully we'll be back. Mateo, next time when you eat pizza, give it a 5 minutes. Drink a beer before. This way you won't burn your mouth. And that's all the tips we have today. And then we're going to be back with Jeff, even though he has an Atari shirt. I'll wear mine so we can match.
And don't forget, my first car was a Tamiya Striker.
Striker, yeah. Oh, my first car was a Falcon, so mine was cooler.
Was it really? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I painted it in blue. It's pretty.
Pete, first car. Oh, you already told us.
Coach Ultimate.
Yeah.
Hey, and if you want to know where We'll Do It Live comes from, it's on the Velocity Facebook right now. It's Bill O'Reilly.
Bill O'Reilly, there you go.
What's the address for the Velocity Facebook?
Velocity.
It's facebook.com/velocity. It's all. No, I did not put on Instagram. It's